We all struggle with feeling like there's not enough time in the day to be productive personally or professionally. We all struggle to make our time matter. It's time to take control. It's time to start investing in the corporation of you. At Athena, they've helped over 700 ambitious professionals achieve more by connecting them with best-in-class, globally remote executive assistants. Athena executive assistants go beyond basic administration tasks. They help you make time matter through the art of delegation. They believe delegation is the superpower of all highly successful people, and your personal EA will help you get there. Your EA is a one-on-one long-term partner to help you achieve your personal and professional goals. Take back your time. Join the waitlist at athenago.com. That's athenago.com.
My favorite thing about working in healthcare is the people. This industry brings together brilliant, highly motivated individuals who are driven by the opportunity to make a difference. My name is Hallie Tecco, and this is The Heart of Healthcare, a podcast where I'll be introducing you to the people on the ground moving the needle in public health and medicine. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Jamie Brewer, a writer, actress, model, and advocate for people with disabilities. Jamie is known for her roles in the Emmy and Golden Globe winning TV series American Horror Story.
Trick or treat! Smell my feet! Give me something good to eat!
Addie!
I want to be a pretty girl for Halloween.
You want what?
Make me a pretty girl. Like you, Violet.
She also made her mark while leading the fight against the R word, while serving on a Texas governmental affairs committee. She persuaded state senators to abolish the word in any official use and replace it with intellectual developmental disability. It was a tremendous victory. Brewer also happens to have Down syndrome herself, a developmental disability characterized by having an additional copy of the 21st chromosome. Jamie was the first person with Down syndrome to walk the runway at New York Fashion Week, opening the doors for other aspiring models who are differently abled.
Amid pumping beats and flashing lights, history is being made with these first confident steps. Jamie Brewer is the very first model with Down syndrome to ever take on the catwalk at a New York Fashion Week show.
Today's episode is hosted in partnership with the BodCon 2022, a live virtual conference focused on body confidence and the movement towards radical self-acceptance. It will take place Sunday, February 27th, and tickets are available at thebodcon.com. Jamie, welcome to the Heart of Healthcare podcast.
Thank you.
Let's start with the conference coming up that I'm attending and you're speaking. Why are you excited to speak at the BodCon, and what will you be discussing?
I will be on a panel that's talking about how I get my mind and body healthy and confident.
And you do a lot of acting and modeling and speaking at conferences. Why do you think representation matters?
It matters because there's a lot of strength. People are inspired. And it's also it's of inclusion in every area of Hollywood, be it on stage or on screen or in film, giving us the opportunities in front of and behind the camera.
I love that. Some of your most notable roles from American Horror Story were Adelaide and Nan. What was it like acting, and what kept you coming back throughout the series?
What kept me coming back to the series, and just the overall thrill of it, and the environment of American Horror Story is incredible. And touching on Adelaide, I feel that I put a Down syndrome on the map for horror, because the last name of Adelaide is Langdon, and the actual doctor, known as Robert Langdon, first discovered Down syndrome. So there's a tie into that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. And so I absolutely love every single role. The first season I was the first one to bring Down syndrome into the horror genre, pretty much.
Yep.
And then Nan, Marjorie, Hedda, and Nan again, those were not disability roles.
Mm-hmm.
Those did not focus on disability.
You must have loved it because you came back so many times.
Yeah.
But you also acted in the Amazon TV movie Love You More with 9 other characters with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
How is that experience different from when you're the only one in the room?
There's really not much of a difference because in Love You More, a lot of the cast members, some of them are personal friends of mine.
Fun.
So it's fun to get to work with them.
Yep.
And along the way, I even met 2 others with Down syndrome as well that are friends of mine now, as well as the actual cast and crew of the show.
Tell us what it was like to walk the runway at New York Fashion Week.
Incredible. For one,
Yeah.
Amazing. My family and I were amazed at how much media coverage there was for that.
Yeah.
It was just a really neat thing because I walked the runway with all these high-powered women in their areas of field of their work.
Yeah.
The fashion designer, Carrie Hammer, wanted to have an actress in that mix as she was trying to figure out on who to get. This young girl who was like, well, I need a role model for my life, and I want to see somebody in this fashion week. And it was in January and in New York. So it was in the winter. So I just flew out, did everything. Carrie Hammer is also a fan of a dress. So the dress is inspired by the show.
So there's a tie there.
Yeah, and I was the last person to go off, and I'm sure you saw the videos of it. I actually do very subtle homage to certain characters of the show, and the very last thing in going off the stage is Sarah Paulson's character of the New Supreme. I actually brought those into that.
Do you like modeling as much as you like acting?
I like both.
You like both, yeah. Did you get nervous?
No. Honestly, no, I'm not nervous. I actually channel my nerves in a more positive way. I do a lot of yoga, taekwondo, and things to do with Zen to center myself. And it works.
Okay, I need that because I get very nervous.
This relaxing Zen music on, center yourself.
Yeah.
Remind yourself and knowing what BodCon's about. Being confident in who you are and finding the right ways to zen a lot of the sounds out and be one with yourself.
Yeah. Well, you've had a very successful career. And in addition to the work that you do as an actress and a model, you have also been an activist. And one of the things that you've accomplished that is so impressive is leading the fight against the R word while serving on the Governmental Affairs Committee. And you persuaded state senators to remove the word from any official use, which is just such a tremendous victory for everyone.
Thank you.
Tell us a little more about that.
Sure. And the way that you word it's kind of neat because the Governmental Affairs Committee was actually in Texas.
Okay. So even a bigger, yeah.
I was in Texas during that time. I want this to become globally. I want to someday meet Biden and get our term abolished globally.
Okay.
So
if anyone is listening that has ties to the current administration, Jamie is ready to talk to you.
Yeah, because when I said about persuading state senators, I want to do that globally. But also at the same time, this government affairs committee that I was part of in Texas, I was actually living in Texas during the time. I was in high school during that time. I was in high school in Texas. So a few years after that, I joined a local ARC group. I'm part of ARC. I was part of ARC. I was, for a good amount of time, I was selected and got the role of a president for 2 years running. And while I was president, that was when I was asked and being part of going up higher to a government affairs committee. So during that committee was where we mentioned about the state bylaws. And during that, they mentioned the R term, that it was in their bylaws. And they wanted to abolish that. They wanted to take that out.
Yeah.
So what we did is we all came to the agreement to take that term out of the actual bylaws itself. And ever since then, we don't have that term in our bylaws in Texas. We actually changed that term to intellectual developmental disabilities.
And why do you think that matters?
Those words matter because with the community of Down syndrome and other disabilities as well, we don't like hearing that term. It puts us down.
It's hurtful.
It's hurtful. It puts us down. And some people, not myself, but some people can get really offensive by it.
Yeah.
So I actually want to keep pursuing that and get it abolished globally.
Yeah. Are there other states that have had similar movements?
I don't know. That's what I want to find out.
Yeah. Well, if anyone is listening and you have ties to state or federal government, that would be something that Jamie would be interested in getting involved in. So
yes, very much.
Yeah.
It's a huge platform. And it's kind of neat as well when it comes to the acting portion that I heard you mentioned.
Yeah.
I do a lot of my advocacy I use in my acting.
How so?
Like with Adelaide and other characters I've done, I bring in that platform of advocacy constantly by being me and teaching others that individuals with disabilities have our own voices. We can do anything and everything that other people without disabilities can do.
Tell us more about the advocacy that you do for Law syndrome and what that causes.
It makes awareness for individuals with disabilities to really understand the communities and help them learn that there are individuals out there that have disabilities and that we need the same opportunities that other people, that anybody has. When it comes to the word law, that brings in a different platform as well. That actually gets our voices and our faces in the arena of law.
So the campaign was trying to promote work opportunities, independence, and civil rights for people living with Down syndrome.
That is exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And it's incredible in hearing about that kind of stuff, including civil rights. That's actually a new one to hear. And it is true. Because a lot of people, it causes a stability and balance for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
For all of us. Sorry, not for... It's for all of us.
Do you think there are barriers to finding meaningful work for people with Down syndrome?
Sometimes there can be, but I like really think about it. For me, people always ask me this question quite a lot. I've never really faced a lot of barriers, and I don't. And with others that are facing barriers, I actually encourage them to not see the barriers and to help individuals. To help the individuals that are hiring them and showing them and saying, hey, can I show you what I can do? And you see what I can do and adjust to what I need to do.
What do you think about the special minimum wage for workers with disabilities? Do you think that's fair that they have a lower minimum wage than...
It needs to be the same as others that work in the workforce that do not have disabilities.
Yeah.
It needs to be the same.
Yeah.
We don't need to change for a lower, because like me, when I work, I don't request a lower minimum wage.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is to change that frame of mind and have everyone have minimum wage and not denote and not bring down disability and having that lower standard. It needs to be the same throughout.
What are some myths that people have about living with Down syndrome?
There's really not a lot of myths out there, but there's some that a lot of people think that we can't do a lot of stuff and that we are always quiet, which is not true.
Not with you. You're not quiet.
No, I'm not. That is a myth, though. The people often think that people with disabilities are quiet, and we are not quiet.
Yeah.
We are like those families that are. We're like those families that are Spanish or Greek. We have a voice.
And do you have friends and family members that also have Down syndrome? And are your relationships with them different because they can relate to you a little bit more? Or are you just friends with everyone?
the third option. Everyone, a good amount of my friends have disabilities, and some have Down syndrome, some are autistic, some are CP, some are in a wheelchair. So it's a huge melting pot for me.
And where do you live now?
Orange County.
Orange County. Of course, you have to be close to the work.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals right now, whether it's personal or professional?
Being the healthiest I can be. I'm a very healthy girl. I'm also, and this is on a personal side note as well, I'm also diabetic.
Oh, wow.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. So I'm very healthy.
And that's something that you've lived with since you were a kid, type 1 diabetes?
No, this recent few months, almost a year now.
Oh, wow. How has that changed your life?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
It was a major wake-up call for my family and myself.
How did you find out?
I was constantly craving a lot of sugar.
Okay.
Sugar craving is the biggest killer for diabetics. And I was craving all the sugar stuff, all of it. I was on a plane flight one time where I was constantly craving a liquid diet. I hardly ate anything. It was all liquid. All the sodas that have sugar in them, I requested all of that. From regular sodas and diets and even those slushies at 7-Eleven and all that kind of stuff. The Frappuccinos from Starbucks.
I was going to ask about the insulin, and I'm assuming you're not drinking those sugary drinks anymore, and you're now.
No, I am not.
Yeah.
No, I am not. I was actually craving a lot of sugar, a lot of bread products as well. Everything that had carbo load of sugar that I was craving. Now I am more on a paleo, Mediterranean, and Atkins diet.
Wow. That's a big change.
Yeah, major change.
Yeah.
And I am the healthiest that I've ever been. I've lost a good amount of weight.
Wow.
Because of all this. And I eat healthy, like, constantly for a lunch, which is in a few hours from now. I'll be, actually probably after this probably. I eat salads a lot. I do a lot of salads for a lunch.
Do you miss the sweets?
No.
Good.
Well, yes and no. I actually do more sugar-free. Sugar-free. And when I found out about Atkins, there's hardly any sugar. So I'm an Atkins girl now, too.
Yeah. And you have to check your blood sugar levels throughout the day?
Yeah. I on my body, I wear a Dexcom that monitors my number. And the insulin is in a wireless insulin pump called Omnipod. So I can manage all this on my own with the guidance of my family to keep me on track.
Yeah, that's a lot to manage. Do you think that you want to do advocacy around diabetes awareness?
I want to.
Yeah. We'll be right back after the break.
Has your chronic illness made it difficult to continue working in the traditional way? Want to learn how to find and create flexible remote work that both accommodates your chronic illness and generates an income? Join the Patients Getting Paid membership, a community of chronicpreneurs where people just like you find workshops and trainings, weekly updated condition-specific gigs, twice monthly coaching calls, co-workings, accountability, and the kindest community to support you on your path to make money while working from anywhere and taking good care of yourself. Learn more or join us at patientsgettingpaid.com.
So, switching gears, tell us about a time when you were underestimated and how you proved them wrong.
When I was given a chance, I showed them how they could believe in me and believing in my own self and being confident. Never going into a workspace or anywhere being negative. I'm never negative.
Have you always been like that? Or is that something you had to learn?
Always. I've been encouraged from birth to be always positive. And if I am faced with something negative, find the positive in it.
So your parents and siblings are like that as well?
My parents and my grandparents, yes. My grandmother lives with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly reminded, I always look for the positive. And if I'm faced with negativity, I change it.
It's been a very, very difficult 2 years for every single American. How have you been able to stay positive throughout COVID?
Just taking care of myself and taking care of my family and staying healthy, doing stuff that I love to do. And I've had a couple of a family member that has passed away on me. My grandfather on my mom's side passed away on me.
Oh,
I did take it hard, but that's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
He did not have COVID. He just passed away calmly and peacefully with Alzheimer's. So I also kind of advocate for that too, as well, with people facing Alzheimer's and saying, don't see it as a curse. Don't see it in a bad light. Keep staying positive and find things to keep the mind active.
You'll have to connect with Maria Shriver in California.
I know the Shrivers.
Okay, well, she's doing really important work.
And thinking about that, with about the law syndrome thing, I'm part of some really good foundations, and Best Buddies is one of them. And Best Buddies is Anthony Shriver. I know the Shrivers really well.
What does Best Buddy do? Best Buddies
do really neat events. A lot of them are they do bike classics. They do bicycling and different things. I'm also part of a group called Easter Seals as well. I've done 2. Easter Seals is basically it's another advocacy group that has individuals with disabilities in front of and behind the camera, and we have this Easter Seals film challenge where we have the opportunity of being in front of the camera and behind it. So that's kind of a neat thing there.
Yeah. You like to be in front, right?
Yes, but also I'm also focusing more now on behind the camera, and I'm also part of other groups as well. I am part of a National Down Syndrome Congress.
Okay.
And a Global Down Syndrome and the Global Down Syndrome Foundation. They're in Denver, Colorado.
You're busy.
Thanks. I'm also recently in my area. That's why I love being back home in California. I'm part of a group called the DSAOC. That's the Down Syndrome of Orange County. I'm part of their board.
All this on top of work, acting.
This on top of acting in theater, in TV, and in film.
Yeah. Do you have any big projects that are coming up?
There is one. I can't say too much about it.
Okay.
But I can tell you that it will be in New York and in the spring.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to find out.
Are you guys interested in seeing a comedy movie that I'm in?
Yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Turnover. It's a really neat film. It's 2 hours long, but it's worth it. And it brings in 2 communities. It brings in the Down syndrome community as well as the deaf community.
Awesome. I will definitely check it out. So there may be some listeners out there who have just started learning about Down syndrome from hearing you speak today. Is there anything you want them to know?
Being a role model for women and for men, anybody.
Yeah.
And that's to be a role model for young women as well, is anything's possible. And never being afraid to believe in yourself and being inspired by people and all of us inspiring others and saying, hey, we have a voice, we have a huge heart, if we're caught in any bad situation, we will help you find a way to change that. We want to show you who we are.
Yeah. Everybody has a voice and you should use it to help others. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yeah. How can people follow you on social media? You have a very big presence online.
Yeah, I have a Twitter account and an Instagram. And it's the Instagram account is the same name as the Twitter.
Okay.
Pretty much. The Instagram account is it's me, Miss Jamie Brewer.
Great.
ITSMEMS Jamie Brewer.
Great. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate everything that you shared with me, and I'm so excited to see what you're up to in spring in New York.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Heart of Healthcare. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, follow us on social, and tell all your friends to listen. The Heart of Healthcare is a product of OffScrip Health. We are a healthcare engagement company built for patients and caregivers by patients and caregivers. Our executive producers are Matthew Zachary and Andrew McDowell. Our senior producer is Brianna Seeley. Our intern is Antonella Sterniolo. Our host is Hallie Tecco. It is recorded, mixed, and edited by Brianna Seeley. For advertising and media inquiries, email media@offscrip.com. That's media@offscrip.com. For more information, visit offscrip.com.